Hey everyone, and welcome back to News with Sony, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more. Here to talk to you about more Spider-Man No Way Home related topics and how certain characters that appear in Spider-Man No Way Home could possibly appear in the future Avengers Secret Wars. You know what's going to happen. They're going to make an Avengers Secret Wars, or at least call it Secret Wars or something. And if they were going to adapt a Secret Wars storyline, they most likely adapt it from the 2015 version of Secret Wars. And I'll get into more details in a second and explain as to why they might adapt from that. But before we get into this, just want to let you all know that there will be spoilers for Spider-Man No Way Home. So if you have not seen the movie Spider-Man No Way Home, I urge you to click away from here because you don't want to get spoiled. I'll leave a spoiler alert warning in the title. And of course, I'll leave a spoiler alert warning in the comment section below in my pinned comment. And also, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell notification so you don't miss anything. I post videos every day. Guys, we just hit 8,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much for doing so. You guys are the best. And also, to stay up to date, remember, still click on that bell notification so you can stay up to date with my latest videos. Join my Discord. The invitation link is in the description box below with the links to my Twitter and Instagram as well. Join me there because I post about almost daily. I post whenever I can. Anyways, I'm quite active. You can also hit me up there on Twitter. I'll be sure to respond as soon as I can. So, Spider-Man No Way Home actors are reportedly appearing in Marvel Secret Wars. And to be exact, spoiler alert, these actors are Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. If you've seen Spider-Man No Way Home, you would know that the movie ended on a somber but happy and beautiful note in a way. It also sent off Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker and Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker off back to their own worlds, but not exactly certain as to what their characters are going to be up to moving from now on. I mean, they did get their chance to at least spend a night in the MCU, but I'm pretty sure Sony wants to take advantage of that and at least allow them to come back and cross over once more into the MCU and help out. But what storyline can actually fit perfectly for that opportunity for them to come back? Why should there be a reason that they should come back into the Marvel Cinematic Universe? They already did what they had to do. They already served their purpose in Spider-Man No Way Home. So what other reason is there for them to come back? Well, there's a nice little story in the comics called Secret Wars. And in that story in particular, it would make sense to bring back Tobey Maguire. And if you're not familiar with Secret Wars, there was an older version that came out in the early 80s. And there's one that came out as of recent time back, like 6 years ago in 2015. And that storyline involves the destruction of the Marvel Universe and various other alternate universes, including those seen in the Ultimate Marvel comics and the 2099 imprints, and of course the Age of Apocalypse storyline, the Marvel 1602 universe, and a House of M storyline. It's basically a destruction of all those universes. And with each of those universes' respective Earths, they combine with each other and they form into this battle world. And that's a planet that exhibits the aspects of the various universes. So that provides the perfect opportunity for both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield to come back. And that planet itself is divided into many territories across multiple self-contained and pocket universes composed of specific storylines, and they also reside and evolve over time. So the basic premise of Secret Wars is that it involves the collision of those universes. Basically, they get destroyed, but pieces of those universes start to mysteriously get saved, and they get combined with other post-collision universes, creating Battleworld. So we could be seeing the live-action Secret Wars sometime very soon. I'm thinking probably within the next 3 or 4 years we can get an Avengers Secret Wars movie, with the whole Kang the Conqueror thing happening with Loki, and of course crossing over into Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, and the appearance of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker Spider-Man. It all makes sense. This is all coming together. It really is. So to give you more of a breakdown, I have this article from Epic Stream breaking it down a little bit more and talking about as to why Sony is meeting up with Marvel Studios once more to try to talk some future deals. Because Spider-Man from the MCU, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, is staying in the MCU. Sony just made an agreement to keep making more movies. So they're going to start getting ready to work on Spider-Man 4. It's already on pre-production, I guess you can call it. And they want to go ahead and make the next Spider-Man movie as soon as possible. So we're going to get another Spider-Man trilogy, that's for sure. And the good news is that he's staying in the MCU. And of course, Sony wants to do something with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. As far as Tobey Maguire, I feel like there was a storyline there that was quite concealed for the most part. There were just little bits and hints about his family. He probably has a kid and he worked things out with MJ, but we want to learn more about him. And there's a possibility that there will be coming back into future projects. So Spider-Man No Way Home fans got exactly what they wanted, and they couldn't stop talking about it in the past year. After over a year of speculations, it has finally been confirmed that the two previous Peter Parkers are in the highly anticipated sequel. But does this mean that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are here to stay in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? A new report suggests that Maguire and Garfield will return as Spider-Man in Marvel Secret Wars. In Spider-Man No Way Home, Tom Holland's Peter Parker convinced Doctor Strange to create a spell that would make people forget that he is Spider-Man. However, the spell goes horribly wrong, and people from other dimensions are sucked into the current timeline. This included Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, who were ready to help MCU's Peter Parker. So No Way Home concluded with the other Peters being sent back to the universes, but that probably doesn't mean we've seen the last of them. An industry insider revealed that Marvel Studios still has big plans for Maguire and Garfield. This isn't a huge surprise considering that Marvel saw the enthusiasm for Maguire and Garfield's return in No Way Home. Secret Wars would be an awesome way to bring them back, but it's also important to point out that the casting has not yet been officially confirmed or even announced. With that in mind, it's best to take this with a huge grain of salt. Interestingly, Marvel also has other plans for Garfield's character. There have been speculations that the studio is planning to pursue another project with the Amazing Spider-Man star. If this is so, it could confirm that there will be more than just one Spider-Man existing in the MCU. Spider-Man No Way Home is currently screening in theaters. It is also important that a fourth film is already in development and could be officially announced very soon. So stay tuned for more updates of that story. Yes, Spider-Man 4 is in development, but there's a possibility that we could be getting more Spider-Man films from, of course, Andrew Garfield himself, with other storylines, with newer storylines. Perhaps when Venom got sent back to his universe, because remember, everybody went back to their respective universes, there's a possibility that Venom is linked with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. So remember when Andrew Garfield talked about how his character, got bitter and rageful? Well, I think that'll be further explored in the next Amazing Spider-Man film, should Sony decide to make an Amazing Spider-Man 3 film while still getting Spider-Man storylines that take place in the modern MCU. And there's a possibility that that can happen. And also remember that a piece of the Venom symbiote remained behind in the MCU and will most likely find its way to Tom Holland's Peter Parker in New York at some point in the near future, where we can also get that crossover with the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man, where Reed Richards probably found the specimen of the symbiote and gave it to Peter because his costume got all torn up. Because remember, Peter Parker went back to wearing his friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He's wearing the classic comic book accurate costume, and there's a reason why Peter would probably want to get a new suit. So there's been a lot of jokes about, Peter Parker MCU, Peter Parker getting new suits in every film. And perhaps this is just another reason or another excuse for Tom Holland's Peter Parker to get another suit. But this time it makes sense. Peter is in a dark part of his life. He's alone. Nobody knows who he is. Nobody even knows that Peter Parker exists. People just know Spider-Man, and that's all they know. They just don't know who he is. They don't even know if Peter Parker exists. And I think this creates a perfect opportunity to introduce Venom of the MCU while also keeping Venom of the Sony universe separate at the same time. And this is perfect because it's a win-win. Everybody gets what they want. Everybody gets to pick a version that they like. If they want to stick with the Amazing Spider-Man, they can stick with that and they can like that, of course. And if they want to stick with the MCU Spider-Man, they can stick with that as well and like that as well. So what do you guys think about my thoughts and the story about Secret Wars happening and with the other Spider-Man possibly appearing in Secret Wars? Remember, nothing is officially announced, but there are talks about it. Of course, Spider-Man 4 is actively in development right now. There's just a lot of things that go on in that film and that's happening behind the scenes that allude to the storylines that I was talking about Venom possibly existing in the Amazing Spider-Man universe, and about how we're going to be getting Secret Wars, and how Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker Spider-Man could possibly showing up. Because remember, in the Secret Wars storylines, there are multiple versions of various characters in the Marvel Universe that do appear. They actually coexist and they interact with each other. So anyways, that's all I got for you guys tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell notification so you all don't miss anything. And I'll see you all in the next comic panel.